Welcome back to SwitchCorner. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Survivalists on the Nintendo Switch. This one, it's coming from Team 17 and it's a survival take with the escapist style, but is it any good? Does it hit the beats we expect from the survival genre? And should you add it to what is now actually a growing Switch survival collection? Well, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family, and let's get started. So the Survivalists, it brings the survival genre to the Switch, where it takes the almost like vibe you found in the Escapists, but sets you with one simple mission: search this world map, fight for your life, and of course survive. Here though, the starting menu, it sets the scene immediately. Your character's passed out. This character can be customized, by the way, with some minor options in the menus, but you're floating at sea aboard a shipwrecked vessel. Now starting the game, you'll hit a shore and there is your beginning. Equipped with just a few items from the wreck itself though, that's basically it. It is now game on and you must get out into this world, work out what is going on and try and find some way not only to survive but potentially escape. The game, as is like traditional with the genre, it gives you zero guidance on any sort of end goal. It's a case of it all being in the name. A few tutorials later though on basic crafting and controls and you will very much be on your own in this world. That is, unless of course you play with friends, which is kind of the way I spent most of my time, as you'll see from the footage, in 2-player. Now the opening hour or so will really be about the essentials, a bed to sleep in. That's actually the only way to save the game as well, some basic weaponry, and then of course food, as you'll be monitoring 2 bars here, one for health and then one for hunger. Food, it heals both of these areas, and I urge you to get used to monitoring both the heart and circles surrounding it at the bottom of the screen. The heart, it represents hunger, the background, that is your health. Like any survival game, it's all about basically finding items within the world, or hunting, basically learning how can you combine and craft different items to make things that are actually useful to you. You'll really find 3 forms of construction here. Smaller items like tools, just small like tidbits, you can craft these anywhere on your person as you wander around. More complicated items though, they're going to require either a workbench or forge, dependent on the material types. You'll even actually be able to befriend monkeys in this game that can not only be trained to take on these tasks like crafting, but they can also fight on your behalf as well. They do get a little annoying at points, honestly, running around you like anything, but you can thankfully tell them to wait in place just with a tap of the left trigger. The game though, it captures the survival element perfectly, and the more you craft, the more options it will present to you. For example, you will start with, let's say, simple straw walls for a home, but before you know it, wood and concrete options will be available. One of the best feelings in this game, building your first house with like trophies and decorations, all sorts on the walls. It's an incredibly satisfying experience. That is, at least until a raid comes along and absolutely screws you over. These are random and basically local tribes. They come and attack your location, destroying everything in their path or actually stealing it. I understand why they included this, but I will say it got a little bit frustrating towards the end of the 15 or so hours I spent with this game. No matter how many traps I put down, no matter how many walls, they always seem to get through. That said, look, if locals or hunger ran out to kill you, then don't worry, there's also the local wildlife and even tombs that will surely do the job. Wildlife here, it includes everything from simple like fly-like things that are basically going to eat you alive, to boars, to even the occasional tiger I found. Survival in these moments really comes down to your ability either to get your ass out of the way or how good you are at fighting. Fighting and combat here, it comes down to a single button. You can do like simple attacks with a tap of it, or hold it down for stronger ones. Also, actually on that note, the quality of the weapons too. Starting small, you'll eventually get access to gold weapons, which are about as good as it gets. Food, weapons, all the consumable items though, it's worth knowing they do have a limit too, so don't think you're going to make one sword and you're done. You'll always need to be a couple of steps ahead of the game and make sure you've got those resources when you need them. By far the best part of the Survivalist though, it's got to be the exploration. The base building is entertaining, but once you craft your first boat in the opening hour, the sky is the limit and you'll be sailing around this like procedurally generated world looking for that next island, that next secret, or even that next tomb. These tombs are like mini mazes that are full of enemies, but include some of the best loot out there. These moments, there's no denying it, are for sure exciting and add something that feels like a little more arcadey to the genre than you may be used to seeing, and the game for sure just benefits from it. Early on then, you meet a shopkeeper who establishes there's 4 keys in this world that link to 4 major tombs to explore. There's still a ton of like little random ones, but these 4 major ones, they do lead towards an end goal. We died multiple times, we were raided more times than I can remember, but where this one excels was there was always something exciting waiting for us around the corner, something new to see, and it's nice that once you get deep enough into it, it establishes more of a direction and actually gives you, you know, something to chase after outside of like simply surviving. Also, you probably noticed that I said we died a lot. This game does not feature permadeath, so it's definitely good for beginners to the genre. Problems, I gotta say, a few raids are a pain in the ass, as I said, because you could be islands away, really no chance getting back, and you've just lost everything. I understand it's to add pressure, but it feels a little bit forced, if anything, and I would have preferred it if I could have just like had a good time and faced the locals when I happen to like bump into them. Crafting, you'll uncover most items within the first few hours of gameplay, with there being around 60 items. I would have loved to have seen just a few more, honestly. And then finally, crafting items for the world, like your house itself. You cannot rotate any of these like stationary items, so it seems like a simple miss, like just like rotating a door, for example. It's just a bit weird that it kind of restricts you to its one set location. It's at the front or it's at the back, nothing else. Then load screens. Once you are in the game, no real issues, no load screens in fact, but that first time loading in or after you die, it's pretty damn lengthy and was kind of a running joke between us. Finally, the only other thing, in multiplayer, only the host keeps the progress, and I wish there was like some way you could kind of carry it across your own game as well. We were playing across the world, me in the US, him in the UK, meaning as soon as I left the game, I was back to an empty island, and I would have loved to have continued for the night. Don't know if it would have been possible, honestly, but I'll say this, would have been nice still. Overall though, look, I've had a great time with the Survivalists. While I wish it had a few more options in regards to crafting, sunk in a good like 15 hours or so far, and I will be heading back. It's got this great sense of mystery to it all, and I really want to get out there now and see what's next in this world for me. This is a survival game, but with the option of up to 4 players, it definitely has more fun and less stress than you may be used to. For example, as I said, no permadeath. You die, you lose your items, but you'll find yourself at the edge of that island or back at your house, putting you in a bad situation still, but not an unrecoverable one. Overall though, look, really impressed single player and multiplayer. I think survival fans, or maybe those who want to, you know, take a look at the genre, this may be a good option. So graphically speaking, it's a great looking game. The carryover of the pixelated like visuals from The Escapist for sure make for a unique style, but there is still variety here as you explore these different islands, each with like varied structures and environments. It feels kind of like trial and error. You can't really work out what some things are. The first time I ran on lava, for example, set myself on fire, but as soon as I did that, the visuals made sense and you never felt like the game was, you know, deceiving. Likewise, I love the tombs. They reminded me almost of old school Zelda, you know, a combination of combat, puzzles and loot. Then just occasionally I will say the game just goes all out. The lighting effects and the water that's washing up on shore, absolutely stunning. Issue is, gotta say, just one single one, the isometric perspective itself. It means there's no rotating camera, and while you can see your silhouette through items, it sadly becomes a little bit awkward at times, like navigating forests. You constantly like walk into obstacles that you can't see or simply get stuck. It's okay eventually, but I wish they could have given a little more like visibility in these moments somehow. Audio then, and it is limited. A few different music tracks for each island across this like huge map, tombs, and then some minor sound effects. The sound effects are limited, like chopping wood, mining for gold. They do enough and they make sense to the visuals, but I really think they could have done a lot more like in this area, just to add a bit more atmosphere to this world, like the sounds of night, for example, just to keep you on the edge throughout the day and night cycle. Overall though, like audio, it's, I'd say, just okay. So the final verdict, and I've loved my time with the Survivalists, both single player and multiplayer. While I do have my issues with it, you know, the occasional annoyance in raids, somewhat limited crafting, some weird design decisions like when you're building your house and you can't rotate items, still can't deny it's kept me coming back, playing a lot longer, into the night than I definitely should have been. I also know it's good though, because I have every intention of jumping immediately back in and now making it one of my, rotating go-to experiences. Today I'm giving the Survivalists a great 8 out of 10, and I hope to see more from this experience because Team 17, I gotta say, they have really delivered. Thanks for watching. As always, a shout out to the patrons who are going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. Truly is appreciated, it helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. If you want to check that out for yourself, it is linked in the video description down below. Then finally, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.